You know what today is? Controller repair day. Got me a PS5 controller in a state. I don't know. First time I'm seeing it. First time you're seeing it. Should look okay, but maybe not. Oh, it looks pretty decent. All the buttons work. Joysticks seem to work. Power button works. This works. Looks good. Let's check out what Gamepad Tester says. So I'm on the website. I need a cable. Let's plug her in. Boop. Power on. And it looks like those buttons work. These work. This works. This works. This works. These work. Joystick. Left joystick drift. Look at that. Crazy. Drift to the left. Right joystick seems fine. Let's see our circularity. So about 7 on the right and 14.1 on the left, obviously because it's going to the left. Funny enough. But today we're going to be using the K-Silver JS13 Pro TMR electromagnetic joysticks, ultra low power consumption. Comes with 2 of them, obviously, for your left and your right. And this is for the PS5. As we see here, power efficiency, enhanced precision, reduced drift, eliminating jitter and input lag, durability and reliability, performance and stability. There's a QR code, I guess, somewhere for instructions. This video is sponsored by K-Silver. They sent me these guys, so we're going to install them, calibrate them, and see if we can get a lower than 7.2 circularity on the joysticks. So let's see what I get inside. I haven't looked at these, so I have no idea. I wonder if they're as cool as like Ginful. Oh, I get 4 of them, even better. We get one here. One here. So these are for the PS5, but like I mentioned, they come for the PS4, PS5, Switch Pro, Xbox, and Xbox Elite 2. So the Elite controller, the regular Xbox Series controller, Switch Pro controller. So the Joy-Cons, PS5 controller, as you see here, DualShock 5, and PS4 DualShock 4. So this is what you get in the box. No little nubs like the Ginful. These are what they look like. They're blue, and it says KS. And it uses the regular joysticks like the original controller to fit these back on, as opposed to the other ones. So from here, I'm going to open up the controller, take it apart, take these off, and put the new bad boys on. So you usually pop these guys off. I use a little spudger, plastic spudger, and I just kind of fit it in there and I pop them off. Screws off. And the reason why you have to do that is there are 2 screws under there. 2 small Phillips head screws. And on the other side, you have to remove this plastic and their latches under. Once you remove those, they're just these 2 little latches here and 2 more screws. Now you can pop off these latches. Let's see if I can do it. The bottom is off, and that's pretty much it. I mean, for deassembling, you gotta unplug the battery. There's actually 1 more screw down here that holds in the motherboard. You gotta pull off these flex cables that route for each stick. There's 1 more flex cable there. You gotta desolder these. So black, red, that's for my vibration motor. Same thing, black, red, gone. Now this guy should just lift up. If you push on the joysticks, boom, good to go. I like to take these off. There you have it, all deassembled. I have this, which is a Hako Omnivice C1390C, and I kind of set it clamp it down. You don't gotta go crazy with the pressure. I just have it like that, right? And then what I like to do is I like to pre-tin my points with leaded solder once again. And once I have it pre-tinned, I like to use hot air and hot air it off. So basically I'll pre-tin all these points, hot air from the top, wiggle, 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 it'll fall off. I'll clean all the pads with some solder wick, pop the new one in, hold it, and then solder each joint back. So that's what we'll do now. And I'm using Kingbo Flux. Now that I have it pre-tinned, the reason why I like to pre-tin it is when you're gonna use the leaded solder, it's gonna lower the melting point. So that way you don't gotta go super crazy. I'm gonna get my pair of these guys. To grip the bottom. Oop. I think I'm gonna go with 420. We'll do 430 on my hot air with 40 airflow. And I just kind of go around until it melts. Now that I have it all off, like I mentioned, I need to clean all those pads. I'm gonna use this solder wick by Chemtronics. You can use whichever you want. There's also many different ways you can do this. You don't have to use the hot air. You can always desolder it using a desolder gun. You can use solder wick to just clean each pad, you know. What's the saying? Many ways to skin a cat. Now that we have all the pads clean, it's what I was referring to is like I take this and I line it up so it's going on this way. I just kind of stick it in there, right? And once it's all lined up, I'm just gonna hold it. I'm gonna tack down each corner so that way it's perfectly flat. So 1, 2. And that's honestly more than enough to hold it in place. And then I'm just gonna go and tack in each other point. And that's basically it. Now I'm gonna rinse and repeat on this side. So we'll come back once we have both set in. And we're back. We're done here. So both sticks are in. What I like to do is I like to just put it back fully together and then do the calibration. So once you install these, you need to calibrate them. This goes for pretty much any TMR or Hall effect stick you install on a PS5 or PS4 controller. You need to calibrate them for them to function properly. So I'm gonna put it back together and then we will do the calibration. So I think this is a sensible amount to have it back together. I didn't put on the bottom shell, but I put on basically everything else, and as you see, functions just like how it was intended to. And if we plug in a USB-C cable, beep, and we look on the computer, let's power it on, we'll see that we're to the top here and to the top left here, and if we test our circularity, we're getting 14.6 on the left and 11 12 on the right. And you might be thinking, wow, that's like crazy, right? It's even worse. But if you head on over to DualShock-tools.github.io, which is the calibration GUI, you can use this with PS4 and PS5 controllers, and it gets updated pretty regularly with new features. So I'm going to do calibrate stick center, and I'm just going to follow the instructions, which are move to top left, move to top right, move to bottom left, and move to bottom right. And if you look here, it's centered. I'm just going to save these changes now. So every time when you do things, you want to save it, or else it's not going to save when you unplug and replug. It'll go back to how it was with that 12%. If we test now, as you see, they dropped a bit. So I'm at 10.4 and 14. Right, and now you can do calibrate stick center, and you just rotate the stick slowly, cover the whole range, and we press done when it's done. So I like to go slowly clockwise twice, and then I go slowly counterclockwise type twice. And we'll hit done, and I'll just save these changes now. And there are many different ways you can calibrate. You've seen me in previous videos do them like top left, bottom right. You can keep going honestly until you get them, but look at that. Just with this, we're getting 5.6 and 6.9. As you see on the left, the bottom right. So I can keep going like over and over and keep calibrating. Now we're even better, 5.9 and 4.9. So you can keep going. So like this is pretty spot on if I believe so. It's fully covering the circle. There's also this other feature, which is fine tune. What you want to do is like, you want to like go around and like lower or increase these values here to bring it in or out where it's needed to get your range as circle as possible. There's many in-depth videos. I haven't done this yet, but that is an option, so you can always do that. Like you see it kind of bugging out over here. It's like if it was stuck here, I can bring in the center by fine-tuning versus doing the way I'm doing it, where I'm just calibrating the range this way. So I'm gonna keep messing around a little bit more, but that's typically how you do it. You start off with the center, and then you do the range, and if you want to fine-tune, you can. You just save your changes and keep checking to see how good you want it to get. But we'll come back once I get it back together. Here we are with the final product. So same PS5 controller. Nothing has really changed about it other than our joysticks, which you saw me do. If I plug it in, I did mess around with the calibration a little bit more. Calibration kind of changes a little bit when you put it back fully in the shell. If we look, we are getting, I believe it was around 5.6. Yeah, so I'm getting 4.9 on the left, which is way better than 14, and 5.7 on the right, which is better than the 7.1 from the working stock analog stick. So yeah, that's what it's like doing a K-Silver JS13 Pro analog stick swap. Pretty simple, nothing's crazy. If you thought this was interesting, useful, comment down below. If you have any questions, you can also comment down below. I'll try my best to answer them. Yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. See ya. I can't fall to sleep.